Hey, happy, beautiful, amazing day. Dr. Bob Rakowski here, Blue Diamond out of Houston. Going a little early today because I didn't keep track of my calendar. Kelly and I are going out to dinner for Valentine's Day, so I will be early and brief in talking about relationships. Tom and Denise Chenault, phenomenal trainers, phenomenal people. They're with Longevity. They're in the $1 Million Hall of Fame. They're great people, great networkers with great advice. I always like to look at their products. So here's what they have. I'm sure they have some pretty good stuff, but I'll tell people again and again and again, the Organo offering is absolutely unmatched. Patented competitive advantages, things people do every single day, never need to be reminded, never plan to quit. Tom is famous for his coffee shop interview and contact mapping. And by the way, it looks like that app is free now. So I went to the App Store and downloaded it. It's a way to keep track of your contacts. But remember what Eric Worre said during the Accelerator. The human connection is the 10x factor in network marketing. People-to-people contact is absolutely best, or face-to-face video would be a close second. And what Tom says is when he does what he calls his coffee shop interview, by the way, he does it at a coffee shop. So think about that. Do we have an advantage? Yeah, better coffee, and we're buying at least the first cup. And the whole purpose is to figure out what's missing in people's lives. They want to fill a gap. They want to fill a hole. Now, it might be they want to climb higher. Well, that's what's missing. Or most people want to climb out of a rut, and a way out is what's missing. When Tom was asked about his DMO, he says, look, I interview 2 people every day. I make and keep notes. And then he calls it a rotation of remember. It'll come up in his calendar. And he said, by the way, he has 47 people to reach out to today. Now, he does it with a simple text, so that's easy. But I think this is his best tip. He says, fire your brain, hire your heart. And then let's take it a step further. Fire your mouth and hire your ears. We want to listen at least twice as much. And in this coffee shop interview, maybe 10 times as much. When you're getting to know somebody, listen with open heart, open mind, open ears, and figure out a way to add value. This was the favorite thing that Tom shared. He draws this little diagram. He says, here's what he knows. It's a small piece of life. And here's what he knows that he doesn't know. By the way, we don't know a lot more than we do know, and we certainly don't know what we don't know. And then he said, by the way, God's got the rest, and live there, right? Live where God's got you. And I think that's really good advice. And then his acronym, BLTs, like bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. He says he likes to be in groups where he belongs, where he's loved, where he can trust the people around them, and where he's safe. And if you think about that, that's going to hit the basics of human needs. And we ought to try to get there with everybody. We want to belong. We want to be loved. We want to be trustworthy. We want to be safe and trusted as well, right? So a two-way street for that. And then he says he wants to be known as the great rememberer. And he says, what does he want to remember about people? Well, he wants to remember what people want him to remember about them, what he remembers most. So he starts with that. Hey, I remember our last conversation. We talked about this. How's that going in your life? Can I add value to your world in any way? Another powerful statement from Tom, love like crazy and then love some more. And Eric Worre seconds that. He says, it might seem slower, but it's definitely faster. And here's what Tom said. Everybody can do this. Not everybody can do a TikTok. Not everybody can do an Instagram. We're being told we can, but we can all love like crazy. And if you need practice, practice. Start on your dog. That's an easy one. Start on your cat. How about starting on yourself? That might actually be the toughest one. But love like crazy, then love some more. And when Tom reaches out with his remembrance, he says, hi, Sally, Tom Chenault here. I remember that you wanted more time with your kids. How can I add value to your world? Can I help you on this quest? That's a really good question. And then Tom has his 7 principles. Now, this was not a part of his accelerator conversation, but I did a little research. I like Tom. Tom is one of the top networkers that I resonate with for a lot of reasons. And I think of all the people we know, he and Brian Carruthers are the ones that we most resonate with. That'd be Kelly and I, or maybe I'm just speaking for me, but certainly me. I think Kelly does too. And Tom lives his life by 7 principles. And the first one, he said, I'm not the center of the universe, other people are. And I found matching quotes to match every one of Tom's principles, but this motivational speaker says, you are the center of the universe. Don't let anybody tell you you aren't. And that should be true. We should all be the center of our own universe. And as we get stronger and more expansive, we're in a better position to help others. Tom says, paying attention to other people's lives is the secret to success. So Mary Kay Ash, she was the founder of Mary Kay Cosmetics, multi-billion-dollar-a-year company. She was famous for saying, everybody has an invisible sign hanging from their neck saying, make me feel important. And when you pay attention to people's lives, you make them feel important. Then number 3 from Tom was basically from Dale Carnegie, who said you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get people interested in you. So guess what? Be interested. It's okay to be interesting too, but be way more interested. And then how about number 4? He commits to contact maps. So he's going to make notes about the conversation, notes about the person, and schedule a reminder. Harvey Mackay may be the greatest networker on the planet. And he said, staying in touch with contacts is as important as getting them in the first place. And then everybody's favorite radio station is WIFM, What's in It for Me? And let's face it, I think we all focus on that. If we don't, we probably should. Now, the exception might be a parent with a dependent child, so you want to focus on them, that's for sure. But ultimately, when we're talking to people, let's focus on what's in it for them. And by the way, if what we have is a match to what's in it for them, all the better. Tom's 6th rule or principle, the more I give, the more that comes back. I paraphrase what he said, but that's basically what he said. And the runaway success book, The Go-Giver, I read it multiple times, probably 5 times. I mean, it was that powerful with their 5 universal laws of stratospheric success. And you can apply those, but the rule is be a go-giver, not a go-getter. And remember, we reap what we sow. And then finally, his last one, always strive to increase others' self-esteem. Now, there's probably a self-esteem problem globally. So help people to feel good about themselves and their place and their path and everything else. And here's the quote from Joyce Meyer. Encourage everyone you meet with a smile or compliment. Make them feel better when you leave their presence, and they will always be glad to see you coming. Now, think about that. If you want to be an effective networker, wouldn't you want people happy to see you? And then I want to then reiterate, when Tom does a reminder to people, and it's in a database, and he gets a calendar reminder, 47 of these today. Hi, Sally, Tom Chenault here. I remember you wanted more time with your kids. How can I add value to your world? And that's the end of that. So happy, beautiful Valentine's Day, all. And as always, I'm Dr. Bob Rakowski, absolutely knowing that we can all be happy, healthy, and successful. So good night and God bless.